Hello, welcome to the Crates Motel. My name's Conan. In today's video, we're going to take a quick look at my favourite drum machine from the early 80s, the Oberheim DMX. Let's jump in. Okay, so just let me quickly explain. In the mid-80s, I recorded a Oberheim DMX on Ampex 456 1/4-inch tape. Ever since then, these are the Oberheim DMX samples that I've always personally used myself. They've been through my SP1200, my MPC 60, 3000, 2000, 4000, and now I still use the same samples. And what I've basically done is I've put together the samples in a drum kit in the MPC one, and it will be available for you to download absolutely free. In this video, I'm not going to go into too much detail on the Oberheim DMX. What I am going to do instead is quickly go through what I've done in the program, some EQ, compression, stuff like that. And just to give you an outline so that you know what's going on in the program. If you want more information on the Oberheim DMX, I've included a few links below in the description that you can get. Disappear down a rabbit hole by all means. But I can tell you there are a ton of records that you will instantly recognize where you say, okay, yeah, there's the Oberheim DMX. Okay, so as I said, these were recorded onto Ampex 456 1/4-inch tape. I'm going to be honest with you, I can't remember the mixer. It wasn't our studio, and I basically went into the studio in London with specifically, well, actually, I can't say specifically. I went in there to assist as a mixing engineer. But the reason why I took the job was because I knew they had an Oberheim DMX and I knew that they had a 1/4-inch reel-to-reel tape machine. So I took a reel of 456 in with me and I recorded it. And like I said, to this day, I still use these samples. I think I might have used a few other people's DMXs. I've certainly tried the GeForce. I think it's GeForce. They do a VST of it. And I've seen numerous other companies that release samples do it as well. But these are my samples and these are going to be available to you absolutely free. So we'll quickly go through the sounds. Kick, snare, clap, rim shot. Now that's various different hi-hats there. That's an accented hi-hat. That's the open one. This one here is actually that one, and I've made a shorter version of it. Crash, obviously, ride, tambourine and shaker, and then we've got our toms. Oh, I can hear the tape. It's lovely. These have been cleaned up quite a lot over the years, and so they're not super, super dirty. But you can always add the dirt, obviously, which I'm going to show you now. Now, what I've done is at program level, or track level as it's now called, I've added some compression, some EQ, and some tube drive. So we've got the compressor. It's not doing anything, but what I've done is I've set it up as a drum bus compressor, basically. With the EQ, I've rolled off absolute subs and I've rolled off some of the top end. The reason why I've done that is because just to kind of get it to sound more authentic, I've just rolled off the highs on it, if in case there was any sounds on there at all, any aliasing or anything like that. Then I've got tube drive, which has just got a little bit of saturation and a little bit of drive on it, but obviously you can adjust that yourself to taste. Probably hear it on the snare the most. Just gives it a bit of crispiness, bit of bite. And then I have added reverb on the end. And the reason why is because in the early 80s, especially into the mid 80s as well, this drum kit, this drum machine rather, and the Lin as well, they just used to soak it in reverb because it was just a thing that we did. And so what I've done is I've put air reverb on there, okay, and I've just set up my own little kind of preset there, which will load up when you load the program. But you can change it if you like. Classic. What is really, really nice on there actually is the non-Lin reverb. That's really, really nice. I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to take the reverb off for now, and I'm going to run through at pad level. Now, what I've done, to be honest, mostly, as you can see, it's got para, EQ on every single sound. And I've just done a little bit of work for you just to take some of the heavy lifting out so that you don't have to worry about it. Of course, as is the case with the MPC, you can't Do you know what would be really, really good? Here you go, Akai, here's something for you. As I go through my pads at pad level, it would be really nice if this changed so that it was relevant to the actual pad I was pressing, instead of me having to go out and go back in again. Now, maybe there is a way to do that I'm not aware of, but as far as I can work out, you have to actually go back out to the main screen, pick the pad, and then go in. You can't flick through, so it's a bit annoying. So I'm not going to bore you with going through each individual EQ move that I have done on each individual sound, because it will be boring, and it'll be more fun if you ever look yourself. But basically, there's very, very standard run-of-the-mill moves that you would do on kicks, snares, hi-hats. Please feel free to check out, this isn't a plug for my other videos, but it kind of makes sense. If you want to know more about mixing hi-hats, kick drums and snare drums, I've made videos about it. So please feel free to check those out, and you'll get more of a kind of idea of what I tend to do to snares, kicks, etc. So just for a bit of fun, let's go in here, get rid of this, and we'll open up a different reverb. We will use the Air Non-Lin. This, I mean, if that doesn't epitomize the 80s, the early 80s, I don't know what does. What doesn't. Doesn't. Either way. Honestly, I could sit there all day just doing this over and over again, just going through electro beats that I remember. New Order, Blue Monday, obviously, that used the DMX, as far as I remember. Mary Jane Girls, All Night Long, that was another one that used the DMX, as far as I remember. Doing this from memory, I'm not looking on Google, so by all means, correct me if I'm wrong. The list is endless, and what I'll do is I know there's a link, I think it might be on Who Sampled actually, that gives you a list of loads and loads of tracks that have used the Oberheim DMX. And you'll go through them and you'll go, oh yeah, of course, I know this, I know that. But with the Air Non-Lin, perhaps I should have put that on there as the reverb on the program, but you can change that yourself because it's on the MPC by default anyway. But that is just pure 80s. Sorry, get carried away. I could do it forever. So there you have it. Quick video on my Oberheim DMX kit that I've been using for around about 40 years, I guess. Feel free to download it, share it. I'd rather you didn't sell it, but if you feel the need and you can sleep at night, go ahead. Enjoy. Pure 80s. Don't get me wrong, I love the Lin. The Lin is amazing, but for me, it was always the Oberheim DMX. So thanks for watching. This is The Quakes Motel. My name's Conan. Till next time.